Hey guys, Yamato Mask here, presenting One Piece 1062 discussion, review, analysis. Now, right off the bat, the cover story. I know we didn't pay much attention last chapter, but the cover story is heating up, guys. So we see Chocolate Town all covered in ice, and of course, this is where Pudding is the Minister of Chocolate. I'll leave everyone to make their own assumptions. Hey, could be Aokiji, could be someone else. So we find out that the Vegapunk from last chapter is actually Vegapunk O2, one of the 6 satellites of Dr. Vegapunk. Now, from my understanding, there is a main body Stella, and the ones that we see now are satellites, or receivers if you prefer, that get their information from Stella. This is similar to the 6 paths of pain in Naruto, where Nagato is the 7th body and he controls the other 6 through chakra receivers. In this chapter, we meet Punk 1, Shaka, Punk 2, Lilith, and Punk 5, Atlas. We are yet to meet Punk 3, Edison, Punk 4, Pythagoras, and Punk 6, Yo. Each of these names seem to have some significance to do with the moon or with space. I'll leave the speculation up to you guys in the comments section. So we see Lilith, who's supposed to be evil, trying to extort the Straw Hats, while everyone is having their own observation and having a fun time. Sanji's over there swooning, Usopp is fanboying, Frankie is in awe. Then we get some Zoro and Robin hype. So Shaka tells her to look out for the swordsman and Nico Robin, who can take her out at any time. And she's surprised by this. She realizes that they're a Yonko crew, but she still underestimates them, even with all their sea beasts who look eerily similar to the ones from Fishman Island. Zoro seems to have some kind of business with Dr. Vegapunk. Could it be with his left eye, or is it something else? Shaka orders her to bring them back to him, because he has an interest in this crew, so that's the last we see of the Straw Hats on the ship. So, cut to Luffy and company, and we get the big reveal that Bonnie is in fact Kuma's daughter. She mentions that her dad was turned into a cyborg, and of course Luffy thinks that's cool, but she says no, that's horrible. So we make our way up to the top of the island, and there's all kinds of wonky stuff going on. We see rockets, we see globes, all kinds of robots and creatures. Yep. Luffy sees a dragon and immediately tries to punch it, and he goes straight through. Then they see a giant parfait, and of course they're starving. They head towards it, and they pass right through that as well. So they figure out that it's a hologram and try to explain this to Luffy, and he's ticked off. And then we get introduced to Punk 5 Wrath, which is Atlas. And Luffy goes, "Oh, you're a hologram," and punches her, and she punches right back. So he hits the machine and it starts spitting out food. Apparently this is called the unmanned cooking device. She then punches the hologram for whatever reason, but the fact that she was able to do it, that surprised everyone. She reveals that she's using photonic gloves to interact with light. And if you can read between the lines, that sounds like something we have to counteract Kizaru later on in the story. So I don't know, maybe Frankie or Usopp get some kind of gloves that they can use to fight against Kizaru, or at least block him. I think ideally it would be Sanji, because a lot of people pit Sanji to fight against Kizaru being the fastest of the crew. So bear in mind, we could see a lot of the Straw Hats get some form of tech upgrade, or maybe Nami's Clean Attack, stuff like that get upgraded here. Jinbei also makes mention of the weather and the climate, and it's different inside from when they were approaching the island. And this is because of Vegapunk's island aircon, which can apparently alter climates. So we see just from this chapter alone, Dr. Vegapunk has so much useful technology that could help the world of One Piece. Like that machine could help starvation in places like Wano. Somewhere like Alabaster could use that weather-altering technology to get rain whenever they need some rain. And I think this is just the tip of the iceberg with Vegapunk and their technology. Their technology, I'll start using their right now. So at his core, Vegapunk is definitely a scientist. So we cut over to the New World on a government ship, and we have CP0. So we have Rob Lucci, Kaku, and Stussy. And they are returning a Seraphim Kuma back to Dr. Vegapunk because it's defective. And also, they're going to kill Dr. Vegapunk. We see Lucy make a comment about killing the single most useful man in the world. And the other two respond to this by saying, "Don't question things, Lucy." So we see that even the most ruthless and callous characters are at the mercy of the world government and the Celestial Dragon. They're not allowed opinions, they just complete missions, and that's it. But who's hyped for Luffy versus Lucci Part 2? Personally, I think they'll have just a little skirmish, nothing more, but I know this is one of the rematches fans have been wanting for a long time, so if we get it, Oda, okay, we'll take it. So we do get a lot of world building in this chapter, and there's a little bit of story progression as well. And we get a lot of character development for Dr. Vegapunk and for Bonnie. Also, as we do with every new or returning character, Bonnie for Straw Hat, right guys? So far, her interactions with the crew are very positive, and they have a lot of in common. Like, now we find out that Kuma is her dad, so both her and Luffy's dad are in the Revolutionary Army, so they share a similar worldview. Not to mention, they both love food. Oh, before I forget, Bonnie fails to mention that she met Sabo at the Reverie this time. So that's gonna be some useful bit of information once it comes to light. But overall, another amazing chapter by Oda. Like, this is why we love One Piece, for the adventure, for the world building, for the reveals, for the comedy. I look forward to seeing more of this futuristic island, more interactions between the crew and Bonnie and Vegapunk, and even the interaction with CP0, which should show that the Straw Hats are nothing to mess around with. So thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoy. Drop a like, drop a sub, leave your comments, and let me know.